Halls of the Ancient Dead is an iconic level in MediEvil. It's MediEvil's most difficult level for both casuals and speedrunners alike. Water is everywhere, and falling in the water loses you a life bottle. Everything wants to knock you in. These large armored knights will attempt to push you into the water, and these chests will do the same when they explode. You can even have all of these chests exploding one after the other. The developers knew this level was hard. Throughout the level, they provided us with many energy vials and a health fountain. In this video, we're going to be covering the history of Halls of the Ancient Dead and how it's been completed throughout the years, both for casual players and for speedrunners. This is the starting point of the level, and if we continue on from here, we have the left and the right path. If we take the left path, we can meet the boatman. The boatman asks us to get 8 soul helmets for him, and these are scattered throughout the level. Each time we pick one up, one of the bridges nearby disappears. The positioning of the soul helmets ensures that the player has to explore the entire level. There is also a chaos rune and a gate that requires it. Beyond the gate is the final 2 helmets, and we also have a life bottle there. The final helmet is at the bottom of this cliff, and once we take this final helmet, the gate behind us will close, and we're unable to exit until we defeat all enemies. Within the level is a chest, and when we open this, a dragon will spawn. This dragon can help us defeat the enemies down at the cliff. Unfortunately, it does have a limited life. Therefore, we have to get to the cliff as quickly as we can. Once we've taken the 8th soul helmet down here at the cliff, we have to head back up and return to the boatman to give the soul helmets to him. There will be new enemies that have spawned in. These ghouls will shoot projectiles at you. Finally, we reach the boatman and we give him the 8 soul helmets. In return, he takes us to the exit of the level, and the level is finished. So that's the level from a casual player's perspective, but how does the speedrun look? Of course, the speedrunner wants to finish the level as fast as possible, which creates a whole new challenge. It's one thing to navigate this level casually at your own pace. To do it as fast as possible, that's going to be different. In this level, the speedrunner's mission is to collect all 8 soul helmets and take them back to the boatman as fast as possible. We take a small shortcut here at the start in order to get our first soul helmet. Over here we get our second soul helmet, and then we go here to get the chaos rune. We move over and we collect the third soul helmet on this island here. Then we want to break open the dragon chest and continue on to get the 4th soul helmet. The 5th helmet is here, and then we want to jump across this gap, being careful to avoid the chests as we collect the 6th helmet. We unlock the gate, and we take this life bottle on this small island here. We take the 7th soul helmet, and we head down the path here to the cliff, taking the 8th helmet and being careful to avoid those obstacles that chase us. Now we have to defeat all the enemies. Of course, in a speedrun, we don't have access to all the weapons. Therefore, we're going to have to dash these enemies off the edge. Once defeated, we will head back up the pathway, and we will encounter the ghouls for the first time. We will continue along in the level until we get here, then we'll give him the 8 soul helmets and the level is complete. This initial route that we performed in the speedrun does have some downsides. Killing the enemies takes a lot of time, so we had to implement a solution. A glitch known as the level loop was implemented. This saves fighting the enemies entirely, because we can jump off the edge of the cliff, fall into the void, and then land past the gate, skipping the entire section. We also implemented a small shortcut towards the end of the level. Instead of following along the path to get to the boatman, we perform a jump that is difficult to land because of invisible walls that surround the area. So what does the tool-assisted speedrun do in this level? The TAS is able to complete this level much faster. We have this enemy push us as we dash jump, and this allows us to land at the exit trigger out in the water. It's extremely difficult and totally unfeasible for a human to get this enemy over here. So what's actually happening here? The exit trigger is out in the water, floating above it. But why? The exit of the level is not actually tied to the cutscene itself, but rather the boat simply moves you into it. Of course, the exit trigger is placed just out of reach. Since the task method is not viable for real-time runs, we're going to have to find another way to get to it. Of course, we know that we can level loop down here at the cliff, but we've never been able to reach the exit trigger. It's simply too far away and too difficult. When we're falling in the void, we can't see where we're going. In order to get to destinations, we have to come up with incredibly complicated setups. This new level loop in Pools of the Ancient Dead was the beginning of a new era for MediEvil. As if the rest of the game wasn't already challenging enough, we now had to get this loop too. No other level loop in the game even comes close to the difficulty of this one. We always knew it was theoretically possible. After many hours of research, we finally made it happen. And if this wasn't bad enough, we also know how to do this banana jump around this gate. Once you pass the gate, there is no way back. In runs, we would keep trying the loop until we get it, or we game over. Even if you didn't get the loop until your 4th try, it didn't matter, you kept the run. This also meant that we headed into the next level, Scarecrow Fields, with very little health, very frequently. When making footage for this video, I had to return to this loop and see if I could get it. I consulted my old notes, full of mentions of the new, final, real method that would always work. In order to perform this loop, we have to do 5 dashes up, 3 dashes up left, 3 dashes down left, 5 dashes down, 1 dash left, and then curve the up left at a very particular time. If you get any of the steps even slightly wrong, you won't make it. And there's no way to know if you're doing it right or not. It still took me over 10 tries before I was able to land at the exit trigger. Once. It was at this point that Pools of the Ancient Dead became the undoubtedly most difficult level in the run. Your odds of getting the level loop in this level was something like 1 in 30. For many years, this was the most difficult trick in the speedrun. And then the day came where it was obsoleted. So what changed? How was this level's reign of terror as the most difficult level in the MediEvil speedrun brought to an end? There must have been some new revolutionary find. And there was. A new glitch was found that allows us to skip straight to the exit trigger. This is done by giving the boatman less than 8 soul helmets. Doing this will cause a dialogue box to pop up, and it's the only of its kind in the game that allows you to move while it's open. I had known about this for some time, and I had never been able to find any use for it. If we jump into the water and die, and then are resurrected into the path of a cutscene trigger, then the cutscene will activate while we're suspended in the air, mid-resurrection. This allows us to fly about in the level, and we can go wherever we want, even to the exit trigger. In the PAL version of the game, we can do this glitch. Unfortunately, in the NTSC version, which is the one that we run on as it runs at a higher frame rate, it's impossible to do the glitch. The developers fixed it. However, an alternative method of performing the glitch was found. Firstly, we have to inventory glitch into the water, making sure that we die before the inventory comes up. Then we wait for the red skull to flash on screen, and then we can use the soul helmet while we're dead. This causes the dialogue box to pop up, and grants us the ability to freely move wherever we want. This means that in order to complete this level, all we have to do is go take 1 soul helmet, bring it to the boatman, perform the glitch, go to the exit trigger, and we're done. The hardest level in the speedrun just became one of the easiest. But this would have been a total disrespect to the level. Pools refused to accept this. Instead of being difficult in itself, Pools now made the rest of the run more difficult. Because of this new skip, we now no longer take the life bottle beyond the gate. We have to lose a life bottle in order to perform the glitch, Additionally, on this route there is only one energy vial on the way, and you have to lose a few seconds to go get it. In the era of the run where this glitch was found, we were now performing a new hardest ever glitch, Dragon Gate Skip. This skip has you actively losing health as you repeatedly try to clip through the Dragonfire Gate. And I think it's no coincidence that both of the levels share the same music. In a recently released prototype for the game, it was found that Pulse of the Ancient Dead actually had 2 levels that followed it, and in one of the levels, titled The Muddy Riverbank, the Dragon Gate can be found. There was a period of time where we were having to do the very hard loop route, and then having to do DGS soon after. It was brutal. At least there was a health fountain at the start of the level where it can heal up to 2 bottles worth. But at that point it's not much of a speedrun. It's more like simply trying to survive. So we got used to the new skip. It wasn't always easy to get it, that was close. We found methods to make it more consistent, and the run is dead. It was seeming that Pulse of the Ancient Dead was easier than ever. And then I found a new jump that can save us 3 seconds. And this is what it looks like to play through Pulse of the Ancient Dead 10 years later. This jump is really hard and extremely inconsistent. Pulse found a way to get its difficulty back. This level has gone through a lot of different eras, from the original route to the extremely difficult loop, to the modern discovery that obsoleted that altogether. All throughout it's remained as one of the most challenging levels in the speedrun, always living up to its fearsome image. Thanks for viewing the video. If you enjoyed this and want to see more like this, do let me know in the comments.